Malaysia did it to, for the good of everyone, and I got nothing. I think nothing wrong about that, and I respect that. It is This is not our country. At least Malaysia is my second home because I'm working here, and I respect whatever they implementing or the law implementation. During the lockdown also they checking one by one. There's a lot of roadblocks to check if the social distancing between the driver and the passenger is working. And yeah, they checking us, and a lot of times they check me while I'm traveling, and it's okay, and I hope it's not for good or for better. And yeah, and it works it works in Malaysia. Now Malaysia's doing well and doing good, and yeah, I think there's a lot of things happen in Malaysia those lockdown time, and uh that is really inspiring and motivating to each and everyone. So I think we should focus on that, on seeing what's the bright side of everything happening. We should, for me, I think the best thing is, gather those video or clips that more motivate people. And I think before we should do a video like this or documentary about this, we should know about what happening or what is the purpose of, yeah, why they did that or why did that happen. I think the vid not focus on the other side of the story only, of the other side of the, yeah, should maybe the a miss of searching or researching some more, and yeah, should do research some more before we should air or we should do a documentary that I think that they missed. And yeah, just do a nice and motivating video, inspiring video. I think so. That is the people should, or that is the people needed at the time like this, pandemic time, or we are on the world chaos on a history. So I think we should gather all those videos that can inspire everyone and motivate everyone. For me, that's the big boom. I think, yeah.
Alright, alright, alright. Okay, okay, okay. Alright, alright, alright. Okay, okay, okay. Alright, alright, alright.
Hi guys! Welcome back to our channel and welcome back to One Wonders Reaction episode. And salamat malam Malaysia or apa kabar Malaysia? Kamusta Pilipinas? Assalamualaikum to all my Muslim friends. And guys, for tonight we will having a reaction video of a newly upload of our friend here, Other Side of the Truth. So he got explanation of what 15 mistakes in lockup in Malaysia's lockdown video of Al Jazeera. So guys, if you not yet watched the Al Jazeera video, or it's a documentary uploaded last week by Al Jazeera that stated that Malaysia locked up those illegal immigrants or here in Malaysia during the lockdown. We know the lockdown, the COVID-19, the days, because now no more lockdown, or we are now on the recovery movement control or RMCO. And during those lockdown, this happened that the immigration joined by the police and some doctors, they search on one certain part of Malaysia or in KL that there's cases of COVID-19. So what they do is like they search in that area. Probably most of them is from other country or from like immigrants. So they search and everything. And Al Jazeera do a documentary that time and stated a lot of negative news about Malaysia. So guys, other side of the truth, enlighten us here. What are the 15 mistakes that Al Jazeera made? So guys, please join me as I doing this controversial documentary or this controversial video. And I hope we enlighten this will enlighten us. So guys, please, if you're not yet connected to our channel, you know what to do. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Click the notification bell so you'll be updated for more videos. And guys, join our Wonder family. Just click the join button down below.
This is a recent video that was published, and unfortunately, it has so many mistakes, and so we're gonna pick the top 15 to cover today. Number 15, taking videos and footages of police and military.
I've got my ID. Look, this is my ID. I'm from the press. Again.
This is lockdown area. No camera, please.
But we're within our rights to report from here.
Oh, yeah. But this lockdown area.
Throughout the entire world, you really can't be taking footage of police and military. So many countries, that's illegal. Even in the United States, if you took video footage of the security around the White House, that could get you thrown in jail. Well, aljazeera thinks that because they're reporters, they're above everybody else.
Yeah.
Number 14, complaining that they weren't allowed into high-risk areas of COVID-19.
We're not allowed inside these fenced-off areas.
Now, I don't know if they don't realize how COVID-19 works. It spreads pretty easily, and so if they were able to go into an area that was high risk, they could easily pick up COVID-19, especially when you look at the video footage and realize that lots of times they weren't wearing a mask, or they only were wearing a mask. I mean, look at how many doctors who were completely prepared, had tons of protection, picked up COVID-19. Number 13, blocking comments. You need to always allow comments, but in this video they have blocked all comments on
I
YouTube.
saw that
you need
also.
to allow people to be able to point out when you don't do things that are accurate or when you do things really biased. But if you don't allow comments,
And they
people
had a
can't
lot of
point
thumbs
those out.
down
And I just
too.
think as a reporter, it's so unprofessional to block comments. I really don't think YouTube should allow that.
Well, yeah. Let's start with first. What I want to mention is, in China, the day the COVID-19 started in China, I saw also a lot of reporters came to China to do the some news out there, and they go on those those places that got fences, and the military or the authorities not allow them. But they never said anything that that is negative about the military or the official or on the China. It's just accepted. But the way Al Jazeera talks, like they must allow them because they are a media, which is I don't think is not all of the country should accept. But it's no exception, right? There's no exception actually. This is a pandemic, and it's not because you are a media you should. Yeah, I think Al Jazeera is too, use they too much use of their media thing. Okay.
Number 12, complaining that the government never responded.
Several requests to interview the senior minister, home minister, and his deputies were declined.
All right, Mr. Drew Ambrose. Well, the government's a little bit busy. They're fighting this thing called COVID-19, which is extremely deadly and spreads super easy. And sorry, they probably didn't have time to answer every single question you have.
Don't know about that
they're
thing,
busy
so
fighting the disease. So please, man, get off your high horse.
I will not give a comment.
Not everybody can take time out of their life to serve
But
you.
other
Right,
side of
dude?
the truth get
have a reality
point,
check. Number 11, forgetting how racism works.
Is this the practical reality of dealing with a pandemic? Or is it racism?
Okay, if you're not aware, racism was mentioned multiple times in
Yes.
the video. How racism works is where you judge a group of people based on their skin color. And in this instance, it would be people of Indian descent or people that look Indian. And if you're not aware, there are multiple Malaysians, actually over 7% of Malaysians are of Indian descent. They look exactly like migrant workers that are both legal and illegal. So if the Malaysian government was racist, they would be targeting anybody that looked Indian, Bangladeshi, or Pakistani. But the Malaysian government specifically was doing things for illegal immigrants. And anyone that was of Indian descent that was Malaysian, they were fine. They had no complaints. So this is clearly not a racism issue. This is an illegal immigration issue. And those are different things. To call it racism is just completely wrong and out of place. Number 10, ignoring countries that are extremely racist towards their migrant workers. I've traveled all around the world and I have several friends that are migrant workers, and there are several places where I discovered that people were very racist towards migrant workers. And actually in Malaysia, migrant workers are treated better than almost anywhere else in the world. Here, locals of a different country call legal migrant workers lazy, messy, unhygienic.
I
Number 9,
cannot
treating
comment
illegal
about that.
migrant
I
workers
don't
like
know
their own
anything.
victims. Illegal migrant workers have specifically not obeyed the law and are working illegally. Even in your own video, you have a human rights lawyer, somebody that really supports undocumented and illegal migrant workers. And she points out that this illegal migrant worker didn't do anything and that she can't really support him because he put in no effort to try to be legal.
Okay, did he attempt to go to the Labour Department to file a case against his employer?
And throughout this video, you often show that they are victims when they could have just put in some effort to make sure that they obeyed the law and got a working visa.
Yeah.
8, saying the jobs that
It's-
migrant workers are working,
Well, I see.
Malaysians don't want to work. And it's probably true. There are several jobs that Malaysians would prefer that migrant workers did. But in the video, you show how there used to be 60 jobs at the market that migrant workers worked. And when they set out applications, they had over 500 Malaysians apply for that job. So clearly, in this job, Malaysians wanted to work it, but their jobs were taken by migrant workers.
Mohammed ran a recruitment drive to replace the foreign workers with locals. 500 Malaysians applied for just 60 positions.
Number 7, never acknowledging that illegal migrant workers put the entire country at huge risk for COVID-19. See, illegal migrant workers are working illegally. It's in the name. And because they're working illegally, they're not registered. The government doesn't even know if they're probably in the country or where they live or who they work for, and there's no way to track them. And so with COVID, it's so important to track and trace everybody that gets COVID. For example, look at what China did,
Yeah,
and what Taiwan did, and what South Korea did, and Japan. All these countries that were extremely good at fighting COVID-19 were able to track everybody in their country and who had it and who didn't. But when you have 4 million illegal immigrants and there's no way to trace them, you're putting your entire
Yes,
country at huge
that's
risk.
the point.
And putting this in the video is so important because then people can kind of understand
Why
the Malaysian government might
trying
be
to figure
trying to
who's
figure out who's
illegal in
illegal
Malaysia.
in
Yeah.
Malaysia because it affects the safety of all Malaysians.
Yes, and yeah, I will highlight that point because I also get I also have a lot of question why Malaysia did that because I heard the news on that time on MCO and they do that. Then now I realize yes, they don't have any way to track them when this virus already or this it's spreading already. The virus is spreading from there, and they are illegal, so they don't know how to track them or how they possibly find them. That's why the Malaysian government did that thing, and one by one they took the opportunity to to know where and to identify them or to have a record with them. That's a big help. Just now, they have those tracing us by the QR code or so like other side of the truth say. So that's the only thing that the Malaysia can do. That's why they did it. So I think it's a good reason. It's a good reason to fight the COVID-19. It's not about that they want to catch them or they take the opportunity that does lockdown to catch those illegal. But no, actually they did that to find a better solution on that time. And I think that's a great it's a great step by Malaysian. But Al Jazeera put a big story on that thing or on that news or on that issue.
Number 6, acting like sitting in the sun and getting questioned about if you're legally working in Malaysia is like the worst thing in the world.
He says his whole family, including his son and daughter, were handcuffed and chained together with other children and the elderly under the hot sun. They were only released hours later after authorities verified their documents.
Alright, right now COVID-19 is happening. There are so many children around the world that are losing parents to COVID-19 and are going to be raised without their father or mother. And you are upset that a daughter had to sit out in the sun? I mean, if this is the worst thing that happens in your COVID-19 experience, you are very blessed because so many people around the world would give anything to be able to sit out in the sun a few hours and know that their country is safe. Number 5, forgetting that everybody is going through a really hard time right now. It's not just the legal migrant workers or the migrant workers. Malaysians as well
all
are
of
going
us
through a
get
hard time.
having
So
a
many
hard
Malaysians
time.
have lost their job. So many Malaysians are struggling right now. And to focus that the only people struggling are illegal migrant workers and migrant workers is unfair. Everybody is going through a
True.
hard time.
Yeah, with having a hard time. Really, seriously. It's not, we are so sensitive. Like, you only put yourself that you having a hard time. No, all of us having a hard time. You think those police that's standing on the hot sun also checking you is not having a hard time? All those doctors that checking you is not having a hard time. They cannot go home also with their family. So each of us get having a hard time those time. So I also think that they too dramatically, or Al Jazeera gets too dramatic on that part.
Number 4, being very misleading and not always honest. For example, handcuffing children. I really don't think this happened. Do you have any footage? Do you have any proof? Do you have anything
I also
more
don't
than one or
see
two
any
people saying
child
it happened?
having
And regardless,
handcuffed.
if children are handcuffed, I mean, it's not the end of the day. It doesn't hurt them. Oh, big deal. I mean, come on. I'm a dentist. I have to treat kids' teeth all the time. That's way worse and way more painful than getting handcuffed. But I do it because it's for the good of the kid overall. So just because something's inconvenient or unpleasant, not everybody lives in a fairy tale land, but regardless, I think that was pretty inaccurate. You also use multiple selective
Yes, it's
examples.
not-
You purposely pick stories and try to show things that made Malaysia look bad. I mean, you look at the end of the video, you purposely pick a
It's
mother
what,
with
like
a
I said,
child.
it's
Come
like
on, that was set
they
up. You
make
didn't
it too
pick a
dramatically.
50-year-old
So,
man. You picked a mother with a
Yeah,
child. Many
true.
Malaysians, especially doctors and nurses, have risked their lives treating COVID-19 positive patients that were illegal immigrants. These illegal immigrants got free care, free food, free clothing, free toiletries, and everything was provided to them. And this makes you
Whoa!
wonder how many other things were inaccurate in this video. Number 3, mixing up legal and illegal migrant workers. Hey, listen to this.
And anti-immigration Facebook groups have been telling illegal migrants to
Anti-immigration.
go home.
Did you catch it?
Anti-immigration.
One word changes the entire structure of the sentence, and that's how media can be
Yeah.
very misleading. He says anti-immigration
Yeah.
Facebook group, but the page he's showing is
Anti-illegal.
an anti-illegal
Yes,
immigration Facebook
Yeah.
group. And there's a big difference between anti-immigration and anti-illegal immigration.
Take note.
101 East investigates why so many foreigners are being locked up in Malaysia's lockdown.
Even in the intro summary, you got it wrong. You're not investigating foreigners, all foreigners. No, you're investigating illegal foreigners. You need to say the word illegal. Number 2, completely not understanding how you fight COVID-19.
Authorities have been carrying out military-style operations across the capital, Kuala Lumpur.
COVID-19 is a time where you need to be strict. You can't allow people moving all around. You need to be very, very strict, because if one person with COVID-19 moves and goes about, they can easily spread it to so many more people. And so COVID-19 is a time that you need to have a military-style lockdown, because that's the only thing that works. It worked in Taiwan, it worked in Hong Kong, it worked in China, it worked in South Korea,
Yeah.
and it also
Yeah.
worked in Malaysia.
Philippines
in this
also
video, you make it sound like a military-style lockdown is a bad thing.
Should-
No, that is an
it should-
amazingly good thing. And the USA and many other countries in the Americas have not done that, and look at the results.
Yes.
Wouldn't you rather have a little bit of a military-style lockdown
Yeah.
and save thousands of lives?
Yeah.
I think most people would be in favor
Malaysia's
of that.
death is
Number
only
1,
100
never saying the good
100.
things about Malaysia. Malaysia
And
is an incredible
most
success
of them
story.
is now
I would
recovering.
recommend you check out
Most
this
of
video
the
or this
cases.
video. Trust me, they're well done, and the person that made them is pretty cool. Anyway, regardless, Malaysia did such an amazing job. I mean, it was amazing to see how people from all different backgrounds, famous and average citizens, all came together
Yes.
for the good of Malaysia. And I think that's really important to talk about in this video when you're going to be talking about COVID-19. And that was completely ignored and completely wrong to ignore
Yes.
that in making this video. So those were my top 15 things that were mistakes in Malaysia's lockdown video. Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments. And don't worry, I will keep comments on. And on a personal note, I'm just really, I guess, disappointed that
The
a
major
major
media
media source would basically make things that were very biased, very inaccurate, and not do the proper research, and not even really understand how COVID-19 works, because many of the things that actually help prevent COVID-19, they said were wrong. And if you look at the data and results, obviously it's working in Malaysia and it's working in other Asian countries. And so at a time when people are really suffering and dying, you shouldn't be picking out because some people had to sit out in the sun or were
Or
uncomfortable. Let's look at the bigger results. Lives were
Lives.
saved. And if a few people had to be uncomfortable to save a few lives, I think it was definitely worth
worth
it.
it. Yeah. Oh yeah. You know it's a kind of, I really think that yeah, Al Jazeera make it too dramatically. They want to emphasize those things that they just want to emphasize. They didn't even explain it, where why Malaysia did it, or why it's. I think the Malaysia did it is to the step to trace them and find the solution, the better solution, because I think those area is cases on that area. So Malaysia need to do something. They need to do something to at least segregate those infected, or to find those who's infected. My question is, the time when I see the news is why they did this on lockdown, or why they lock up people, or where do they put those people? Is it healthy? Is it healthy if they took those people and put on anywhere? I don't know. Maybe if they take those people, or they took those people, it more be dangerous, because the virus will be spread more if But I think as a result now is Malaysia is recovering. So I those things that they did is really work well, and I don't think that Al Jazeera maybe miss of those Malaysian want to do. And as the time happening, the COVID-19 battle happening here in Malaysia, what I just see is how they cope up, or how they did really well. In one, they work in one. Everyone is working in one, and everyone has discipline, and they did it. And now, everything I one by one, or everything is going back to normal, little by little, step by step. And I think Malaysia did the right thing and the good thing. As you can see, guys, yeah, Malaysia is not on the first week or first month zero cases, but I think Malaysia got a less death, or not so many people pass. I mean, I don't want to hear those news like on Philippines also got a lot of cases, but at least here in Malaysia, even though they don't have a zero cases fast, at least they cope up better. Like those got positive now is recovered and now is okay, and there's a few cases now, is only few cases, and I hope so tomorrow will be totally zero for yeah. And I think Malaysia did it very well. And I don't know, the issue of Al Jazeera. I think that's the media works sometimes. I think the media works sometimes like that. And for Malaysia, I just advise them that just ignore I think this news could not will not help, or will not ruin the Malaysia's doing right now. I mean, all people know that, yeah, Malaysia doing great, and that's enough. We also Filipino that living here in Malaysia know that, and I think that's the good and better news. Well, at least we know, and yeah, and we stand for Malaysia, of course. We stand for Malaysia that they are doing great during the COVID-19, and just we cannot always give a sympathy on those things that we probably don't know the story yet. Yeah, we should know everything and weigh everything before. This is a tough story, this is tough story and very controversial, guys. I hope I will include the link of uh a week ago video of Al Jazeera on the description down below, so you can watch it also, guys. And guys, and thank you for Other Side of the Truth for enlightening us. At least we know that, you know the other things that we should know. And thanks so much, guys, for joining me. I hope don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Click the notification bell, and of course, join our Wonder family. Just click the join button down below. And thank you so much. Spread love and peace, guys. God bless us all. Peace be with you, everyone. Bye.